I'm due for another video and I've got a pretty big message and announcement to make with this video. As you all know, I've been on prep now for 12 or 13 weeks and was due to hit the stage in, I guess, 8 weeks now. But this past week, I've made a big decision that I wanted to announce and share here. And that is, I've decided to put my competition on hold, and I don't know when I'm going to compete again, to be honest. If I will compete, I have no idea. I'm not making that decision now, but I wanted to talk about why I've decided not to compete. It's a pretty big realization on some pretty big stuff for me, and well, I guess I'll just get right into it. So my prep has been a really, really challenging one this year. I've been working my butt off, as you guys know, but my body just hasn't been responding the way that I wanted to. And I've been seeking help from my coach, obviously. I've been meeting with doctors, naturopaths, specialists, you name it. I've seen them trying to figure out why my body isn't responding the way it should be. I've been leaning out, but not as aggressively as it should be given where my macros are at and the training regime I'm under. And, the consensus seems to be from all the different doctors that I've seen that I'm suffering from adrenal fatigue. My body is overworked, and as a result, it's kind of more or less been put into survivor mode. So it's not giving me the results that I'm looking for. And that in itself, I kind of had this moment where I was like, this is kind of fucked up. Like, when you really think about it, like, I'm going to all these lengths, I'm seeing all these doctors, I'm having all these conversations with people to try and get myself to lean out when clearly there's a bigger thing going on here that I need to address. And that's that my body is trying to tell me something, and it's time I start listening, that the timing right now just isn't right. And what I started to realize was how fatigued I was starting to get mentally. And what started happening was I started to have these really awful thoughts where at the end of the week I would go and I would do my weigh-in with my coach, and if I only lost a pound, I was telling myself that's not enough. If I was hitting my macros, within 2 to 3 grams every week and still not getting the kind of results I wanted, well, that wasn't good enough. Going to the gym 6 days a week, 2 to 3 hours a day, clearly it's not enough. And I was in this loop of just telling myself, it's not enough, it's not enough, it's not enough. And when you start saying these things to yourself, whether you mean to or not, you really start believing it. And I found that instead of appreciating my body and the changes that were happening every week, I was criticizing it. I was picking apart the pieces that hadn't changed, not focusing on the things that had. I was telling myself it just wasn't enough. I was on this quest to find the best version of myself, but instead I was reverting back to an old way of thinking. The best version of me is the confident me. And lately, I've lost all that confidence. I found myself saying, if I was just cutting for the summer, I'd be really happy with these results. But that's not what I'm doing. I'm trying to get stage lean. So it's not enough. Well, why isn't enough? What would happen if I removed that if I took away the stage? Would I be happy then with myself, with my cut? Yes. So then the obvious answer to me was then to remove that doubt, or what was at least feeding that doubt. In this journey, the thing that has become abundantly clear is that I still have work to do internally. I need to learn how to love myself for what I am and for what I've become and for what I've already accomplished to date, before I willfully subject myself to the judgment of others. You can't control what happens on stage. You can't control who shows up. You can't control the politics. You can't control the judges. So, with all that said, you have to be of strong mind to put yourself up there and not let whatever happens affect you. You know, I mentioned that I was falling into this thought pattern of not being enough. Well, my fear was that if I got up on stage and I didn't place as well as I had hoped, that I would believe that to be true because these people, they validated that little demon inside of me who was saying I wasn't enough. That I would get off stage and be like, there you have it. I was right all along. I'm not good enough, but I am good enough. I am. I know that. And some people may see this as I'm quitting and that I'm giving up. And to those people, I say, so what? Maybe that's true. But I tell you, I make this decision without any fear or remorse that people are going to think that about me because I feel so confident that this is just setting me up for success in so many other areas. So if this makes me a quitter, so be it. But I'm not a failure. If anything, I think I'm stronger for being able to realize the impact that this was having on me and the need for change. Last year when I competed, it was under a completely different set of circumstances. I competed because it was a celebration. It was symbolic. I had lost all this weight. I felt good about myself for the first time in years. It didn't matter how I looked when I got to that stage. I knew I would be proud because I gave it everything I got. And how I did in my competition was a reflection of that. But this year, it wasn't about my journey that I was getting up there. It wasn't a symbol in any means. It was quite honestly a competition. I was at that mindset, and I've realized that that's the wrong place to be. So with all that said, I'm kind of yammering all over the place. This is me telling all of you that I'm taking a step back. I've learned a lot in even just these last couple months about what my priorities are, and my priorities have completely shifted. It's not about anything physical for me anymore. I have bigger things I need to work on, and I'm excited for that journey because every day I grow more and more conscious of myself, of my faith, of my energy, and that's where I want to put my energy. That's where real growth happens. And I've always been an advocate that when things are working up here, then the physical connection comes naturally. And I need to go back to that. So where am I going from here? Well, this isn't to say that I've just thrown my hands up and said, screw it all, give me a cake, give me some peanut butter, here we go. No. I still have goals, and I'm a driven person, and I'm going to chase them. But I am removing the pressure of the stage. I had some photo shoots booked for this summer, so those are going to be my no goals because there's something that's fun. There's something that there's no weight against it. There's nobody telling me that, you know, I didn't rank as high or I'm not as good as someone else. These are projects for me. So I'm going to focus on those and use those as my new motivation to keep grinding on my workouts, keep grinding on my macros, and, you know, see what happens. But I'm removing that stress. I'm removing that if that I talked about. And I feel really good about it. I'm not ashamed in any way. I don't feel shame. If anything, I was actually really excited to make this video because I think there's a lot of people out there who could probably relate. And I think there are a lot of people out there who are competing for the wrong reasons. You know, happiness is so much more than a trophy. Happiness is a way of life, and it's balance, and it's doing what you want to do with the things you don't want to do. It's eating the foods you love with the foods you don't. It's finding peace, and it's finding acceptance, and it's finding forgiveness with yourself. I think that's all I have to say for now. I expect some more videos to come up soon, because I'm going to start focusing on the things I love. And some of the things I love are talking to all of you. So thank you for listening. If you have any questions, by all means reach out, or if you have any comments, I'd love to hear them. I love hearing from all you guys, and you're always so supportive. And thank you. Thank you for following me on my journey thus far. I will continue to video about my journey to photo shoots and just what's going on with me the rest of my life, my macros, my training, all that kind of fun stuff. But it's not all going to be about strutting on stage anymore. It's going to be more than that, because I'm more than that. So if you like what you see, like and subscribe, because there's plenty more coming. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.